All right, so we are talking to Robert Bradford, aka Billy Bob. How you doing, Billy Bob?
Doing all right. How you doing today?
I'm good. So just want to say thank you real quick for letting us interview you here from Success After Hospitality. I know you and I worked together, God, how long ago was it?
2001 to late 2009, 2010, maybe.
Yeah, well, then I left the Hard Rock in 2010. So yeah, it's been at least 10 years.
Yeah.
So longer than that. So I just wanted to ask, what you're doing now, how you've been, what you did back in the day, the transition, all that fun stuff. So let's start off with, where do you work during your hospitality career?
I worked at the Hard Rock from 2001 to 2011. Started off picking up glasses and trash and worked my way up to working swing shift center bar.
God, I hated that shift. Trash and glass. For people who don't know, they used to make us walk around the Alexa and pick up the glassware from in between all the slot machines, and then you had to go around to all the bars and get all the trash. It was so busy; it was just a never-ending cycle.
Yeah, you could not get that trash cart through the crowd. It was so busy.
Oh no, and that was back when Hard Rock was like the most famous place. The bars 10 deep for 8 hours straight, and you're walking through piles of people with a giant trash bin, and nobody would move because everyone's just drunk and partying. God, those were the days.
They were the days, though.
Right. So what did you miss those days? You miss working in that nightlife?
No, I miss the people I worked with, the people I went to battle with, but I don't miss hospitality.
Yeah. It's funny. A lot of people, I had a lot of people come in and say like, oh my God, you have the best job ever. And I'm like, try doing it day in, day out, dealing with drunk people and, all the drama and stuff that we dealt with. And then just the hours that we dealt with and pounding Red Bulls. And
it was the hours, and it was, your money went like this. Some days you can do really good, and some days you can do really bad.
The inconsistency of it was
having a set paycheck. With I mean, when you're in the hospitality industry, if you want to go on vacation, that's cool, but it means you're not getting paid for the week you're on vacation.
Yep.
So you're actually losing money going on vacation.
Yep. I know we said that all the time. If you can go back, well, what would you change?
I don't know if it was much I would change. I needed a break in my life, and it came at the right time. I might have gotten out a little bit sooner.
Yeah.
Than I did.
I think everybody would have done that part. And that's the problem. Everyone gets so stuck because I mean the money's great. Where else can you go make like $100,000 a year working 4 days a week with no real responsibility?
That drop off when you leave is going to be tough, but you've got to get through it. And I wish I would have got through it a little bit younger, because I'm enjoying what I do now. I'm enjoying where I'm at. I wish I could be where I'm at now 5 years ago.
Yeah. And that's what a lot of people say, especially, out in Vegas, we're so fortunate to make so much money, at such a young age. And a lot of people, when they transition out of the hospitality career into something else, it's, you take that pay cut. I talked to a buddy of mine the other day. It took him 4 years. He said he's just finally starting to make Vegas money again. But he's never been happier.
I've never been happier.
Now, if you can go back, would you do it over again, or would you go straight into the career you're in?
I'd do it again because I started doing consulting out of college, and I did it for about 5 years, and I was traveling all over the US. I needed a break. So that's why I moved to Vegas, to take a little break. And then 9/11 happened, which killed the consulting industry. I picked up a job at the Hard Rock, which is going to be temporary, and it was such a good job that, I was like, I'm making more picking up glassware than I was designing computer applications and having a lot more fun. And so I stayed and worked my way up, but it became a trap. It's like, I don't want to leave. I don't want to take days off.
And that's what I think happens to everyone. Everyone says, oh, I'm going to bartend, put myself through college, but then you get stuck, and you get trapped. You get stuck with the convenience, the money, the lifestyle. I mean, all of it. And the famous last words, as out in Vegas, is one more year, one more season. All of a sudden 10 more years went by. You're like, oh, what happened?
Yeah, it goes by just like that.
Yeah. How was your transition from bartending into that? Like, were you doing both until you finally made the decision to quit?
No, it came to a point where I didn't want to raise my kids in Vegas. I wanted to get some normalcy. And when I first left, I moved to Florida, and it was the hardest first 3 years I've ever had, because you go from making that Vegas money, making six figures in cash, to making $38,000 a year, working 6 days a week. Like, you can't turn your spending off.
Yeah.
Like, you get used to living a certain way. And those first 3 years were the roughest I've had. A lot of stress, a lot of depression. Like, what am I going to do? Do I want to go back to Vegas? But once I got pushed through it, it was just a steady climb, and then it shot up to where I'm at now.
Yeah. And that's the hard part of the transition. Like, I mean, you said it perfectly. You can't turn the spending off. We're so used to just having money. I mean, how many times did we get off work, $500 in your pocket, and just go blow it that night? Like, oh, I worked for free. I'll make it back.
No,
Didn't matter.
I have a story I used to tell people is like, remember the Motorola flip phones? They had there was one of the Motorola phones came out. I don't remember what brand, which model it was, but we went to Best Buy. The guy's like $500, and I was like, that's just a shift. Let's go ahead and get it.
Yeah.
I'll just make that money tomorrow.
Right. It's crazy. Now, if you can go back, would you have changed your spending habits?
Yeah, definitely.
I think every single person that I talk to says the same thing. Like, I wish I could go back now and slap myself in the face for all the dumb shit I bought.
I don't know how many $500 beers I've had after work.
Yeah. I'm just gonna stay for one. No, like I said, no, I work for free. Oh well. Vegas was hard too, because like, I started bartending in California. Everything was done at 2, so you had nowhere to go. We went to like Denny's, Del Taco or something, or do an after party at someone's house, which didn't cost money. We'd always I remember giving people money across the bar, like, go to the liquor store and get beer before they close at 2, and then to take to the after party. But then there was no spending. But then Vegas is 24/7 plus the gambling. Oh, I'll throw $20 in the machine. Oh, another 20. Oh, down a couple hundred. Oh,
Yeah.
That's when the money goes pretty quick.
Definitely.
How did you feel like that first day when you knew you were going to resign and you weren't going to bartend anymore?
Really nervous. Well, I had thought that, leaving Vegas and moving to Florida with my Vegas experience, going somewhere else, I'm just going to shoot up and things are going to be great. But no, that honeymoon ended quick.
Yeah.
Like, things were different. Things are different in different areas. Like in Orlando, Florida, working in a restaurant is completely different than Vegas. The clientele, the workers, the people, it's all different.
Oh yeah.
It was a quick return to reality.
So when you were out there and I know you said you were struggling the first few years, did you ever think about like picking up a bar shift, like bartend at night still?
What I did is, bartending is hard to get out of your system. So for a while in Orlando, when I was working a computer, job, I picked up a bartending job at Universal Studios, just 1 or 2 days a week, just so I could get behind a bar and see more people, because you get used to seeing people interacting with customers and guests.
Yeah, that's the hard part is, like we were talking about earlier is, we were 10 deep, 100 people screaming at you all day long, and then the camaraderie with the friends that we worked with, and we're back behind the bar talking shit to each other. And God, remember those guys behind the bar, like hitting cement walls, you bump into them.
Yeah. But yeah, I think just one day it just clicked, like, there's other things I'd rather do with my time than stand behind a bar. I can make more money working.
Yeah.
So.
How's your like quality of life from, being up all night and going to bed when the sun's coming up to, now while we live in a more normal set schedule?
It is so much better to be able to take your kids to school, pick your kids up from school, take them to practice, games on the weekends. When you're a night owl, you can't do any of the after school stuff. Weekends and stuff, you're going to be working, you're going to be tired. It's definitely better. Like, nights and weekends off, paid holidays off is so much better.
Yeah, God, I couldn't tell you how many Christmases and New Year's Eves, Thanksgivings. I mean, you name it. I don't know, all holidays off, Memorial Day, Labor Day, 4th of July. And I
Yeah,
never,
what was a holiday? Like we
yeah,
didn't have holidays.
no, never.
Tuesday.
I,
Tuesday's a holiday.
yeah, I had nothing. Yeah. We were off like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That was it. That's all you got. One of those days. Unless it was like a holiday weekend or something, then no, you don't get that either.
Yeah.
I remember then the lifestyle of, working doubles and triples.
Or just, like when like 2008, 2009, once the economy the housing market crashed, and based on my seniority, I got moved to graveyard for like almost a year. That's really tough when you have a family working graveyard.
Yeah. I mean, that just takes a toll on your body too. The human body is not supposed to be awake at night and go and sleep during the day.
Yeah, God bless those guys that do it and love it, but no, not for me.
So some of those guys, like graveyard guys, are like nocturnal. Like they didn't mind, they didn't bother them. But me, I mean, I did it for years and I always struggled. I spent the majority of it in nightclubs. So I'd still get out at like, 5, 6 a.m. So it wasn't like the 8 a.m. shift, but still, I mean, driving home when the sun comes up and blackout curtains and trying to sleep when the sun's up, and I'd sleep for a few hours and wake up and remind myself I could take a nap before I went back. Otherwise I'd be dead. And it's just a never ending cycle. I mean, you're just a walking zombie for years and years of your life.
Yeah, for sure.
Turn into, I remember we didn't have Red Bull then. I remember when Red Bull first came out, we were stocking like 1 case a night behind the bars, and then it exploded, and like every single well had like 4 cases on it on a nightly basis.
We would go through so much Red Bull in the beginning.
Yeah. Well, I think we were the #1 consumer of the Red Bull in the country then.
In the world, one single location.
Yeah.
For a couple years.
Vodka Red Bulls were like the drink for years. It's funny how many Red Bulls did we pound in the back? that stuff was like liquid crack for us. Like, okay, Red Bull time, let's go. Like that got us through shifts. I mean, there was a point in my career where I was drinking like 4 Red Bulls a night. Like, who knows what kind of damage that did to my insides.
Yeah, we would drink those things like water.
Yeah, it was rough. And that's the part of the lifestyle too. Is I mean, we have so many friends that are addicted to energy drinks for one, but a lot of people now too are like they have to take like Xanax to get to work. They have to take Lortabs, some kind of opioid just to make it through a shift. Just because like the mental beatdown that they take on a nightly basis is just so rough. And then they get off work and they're still jacked or they're still whatever that they can't go home and just go to sleep. Then they got to go out and burn off all that energy. It's just a vicious, never-ending cycle.
Like 100%. It's a different breed.
Yeah. Now, if you could give anybody advice that's stuck in the industry now and trying to get out, or trying to think about life after hospitality, what would be the best advice you can give them?
That it's 100% possible. Everything in life is bartending. They're recipes. They're steps. They're a set of instructions. A vodka cranberry is a drink. A vodka cranberry with a lime is another drink. A vodka cranberry with OJ is another drink. Everything is based off of one thing. You add something else to it, you have something else. It's the same thing when you're doing computer development. You learn the basics, and then you add one thing to it, you have something else. You add one thing else, something else to it, you have something else. So if you can mix drinks and handle the recipes and recipe building, it's the same thing in computer development. There's base things for everything, and you just build off a couple key ingredients to make things happen.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Getting out, I had to teach myself, digital marketing. That's how I was able to get out too, and that's exactly what it was. I just started learning step by step by step. Learn one program, one software, one program, one software. And I mean, I didn't really touch a computer for years. I know how to Facebook and send emails.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, you learn one program, and then you learn something else, and you're like, wow, they're pretty similar. Yeah, they basically take the same steps. You learn something else, you're like, that's pretty similar to what I learned before. And that's all it is. You got to learn the first key steps. Don't think you can run, and just slowly learn the basics. And then you just keep building on that. Next thing you know, a couple years down the road, not even a couple years down the road, you're fully functioning.
Yeah. And that's what, I mean, I think everyone, when you first started out bartending, I remember sitting there cramming my like recipe drinks, to pass the bartending exam. And, I turned 21 and I went straight into bartending school. And I just remember studying that book like crazy. And just like you said, vodka cranberry, a Cape Cod, a Cape Codder. Once you put, a lime on it, it's called something else. A rum and Coke, it's a Cuba Libre. Can't remember. I still remember all this stuff.
Yeah. But that's the thing too, because I'm teaching some former bartenders right now, Salesforce and admin, and they're like, there's so much to learn. I can't do this. I don't understand. I'm like, when you first got on the bar, did you know every single drink? If someone came up to you and asked you for like a Harvey Wallbanger, did you know what it was? Did you know what, was in this drink? No, like it's just what happens is you realize that people come in, they order the same thing and the same thing. It's the same thing with Salesforce. There's certain, like, it can do so much, but you basically only do a certain core amount of task. And then you'll do something that's based on that something else. Like you don't have to know everything about it. You just learn the core things that you do. And then in time, you learn a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more.
Yeah. Walk before you can run, just one step in front of the other. It's forward progression.
But I think people get too intimidated, like, oh, these people, I'm competing with people who are doing this for 10 years and they know all this stuff. And I'm like, and they had to learn one step at a time. Yeah. Like you can't just get the book and it's like, oh, this book's, I'll never learn all this. It's like, of this book this thick, you're actually going to use this much.
Yeah.
Just learn the key parts.
But think about all the drink recipes of drinks that we never, ever, ever poured. Nobody ever answered. Nobody ever asked for.
No one ever asked for them.
Yeah, they still teach those same drinks. I'm like, why?
But it's the same thing in development. If someone come and order a drink, I'd be like, I don't know what that is. What is that? And they tell you. But it's the same thing if I'm doing development. If I don't know how to do something, you just Google it.
Yeah.
And there's the answer. Oh, okay, I got this. I know what it is now.
Between Google and YouTube have literally saved my entire life. I mean, it's been crazy, the stuff that I've taught myself just literally via Google and YouTube. And
there's so many resources out there now.
Yeah.
To learn.
Well, we didn't have that. I mean, I still remember typing up my reports in high school on a typewriter. We didn't have computers.
No, I remember I had a typewriter class.
I got 3 computers on my desk right here. One here, and one down here. People these days have so much technology and so much useful information that they just, they don't really want to take the time to use, especially bartending. Everything came so easily to us that people don't want to take the time to learn it. Like, it's, I can just go sling drinks and make, easy money. But over time, as long as you think that'll last forever and stuff, it really takes a toll on your mind, body, and soul.
It's the trap. Like I'm working center bar, Hard Rock, 5 days a week. I'm at the top. I don't want to go be at the bottom somewhere.
Yeah. But I mean, just the physical activity of, Hard Rock center bar 5 days a week. I mean, when that bar was slammed back when it was, super busy. I mean, that was like back-breaking labor. You're hunched over, back turn for, 8 hours straight. Like I remember I'd be like, dude, my back would hurt. And I was, my mid-20s. Can you imagine doing that in 40s and 50s?
Yeah. I remember when I started, we'd have to do a beer run and it'd be 2 carts full of beer, 2 full carts of 18. So 18 and then 4 on top, 22 beers. So 44 cases of beer just to restock mid shift.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nuts. I remember running through the casino, holding 3 cases, running through the crowd, hoping I didn't drop them. Now you probably still do 2.
I could probably barely do 1.
Yeah, but just the physical labor. I mean, everyone has a shelf life. I mean, everyone jokes about it with the women. Okay, women get older and they hire younger women every year or whatever. But for men as well too. I mean, just the physical aspects. I mean, I still have bad shoulders, bad lower back, everything. A lot from extreme sports, but a lot from bartending as well. I did. You got scar tissue in your neck. I'm like, I spent most of my life like this.
Yeah, it's another reason. One of the reasons I left is I didn't want to be the 50-year-old bartender working with a bunch of 20-year-olds.
Yeah.
Like I remember when we first got promoted, and you, me, and Roma went to Smith & Lewinsky's.
Yep.
And
bottles of Cristal.
Yeah, but there was that old bartender there, just telling stories, being entertaining, and I'm like, one day I was like, man, is that gonna be me? Like, I won't be able to work in a high volume place anymore. I got to go somewhere slower and just tell war stories to people and serve like 10 drinks an hour.
Yeah. And I mean, look at the guys that do it at gaming bars now. That's like, especially guys that get out of like, the Hard Rock and like, high volume places, like you said, you can't do that high volume forever. Eventually you bend down, you end up at either like fine dining or like a gaming bar or some just, little bar in the middle of nowhere.
And, and that was another thing that made me get out on my terms. Because I mean, if you looked at all the people that left the Hard Rock not on their terms, what was usually going to happen? If you're a guy, you're working graveyard at a PT somewhere until you get a spot. Like, it's a job, it'll pay the bills, but I mean, that's not something that you want.
Yeah.
So I was like, when I leave, I'm going out on my terms.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. It's like the best thing you could have. I honestly wish I got out earlier. I kept trying to get out, and I kept getting sucked back in. Got out, got sucked back in. I mean, my biggest fear is being a 40-year-old bartender. I mean, I got out of. I quit bartending. 38, I think.
I stopped at 39.
Yeah, I mean, I quit a few times before that, but I kept getting sucked back in, sucked back in, sucked back in. But I told myself I would never do it after 40. There's no way. So. I don't know, man. Do you have anything else to let people know and inspire people on how to get out?
I mean, just there's so much available out there for free to learn. Salesforce provides free training. They're called Trailheads. So if you go to trailhead.salesforce.com, they provide free training on their entire suite of products. You could just go to trailhead.salesforce.com, create a free account, and learn enough on that to get fully certified in Salesforce for free.
Awesome. And guys, if you're watching this on the YouTube channel, I'll put a link below too, so you can check that out as well.
But yeah, just get out there. There's so much to learn. The Trailhead for Salesforce. There's so many learning sites out there for free. YouTube has just any topic you want. Just get out there, create a free account, and just start hacking away at it. It's going to be slow. You're going to start slow, but it'll build so fast. And, look at me now, I work from home and I do, 3 times better than I did in Vegas. And then when I go on vacation, I can actually enjoy being on vacation.
Yeah, because you're not, like you said, you're not making money. You're not only not making your tips. You're also spending money. So we looked at it as it's a double negative.
Yeah, it's a double negative.
Not only am I going to not going to make $1,000 this week, I'm going to go below $1,000. So I'm really losing $2,000. So a lot of times we wouldn't take trips because we're like, do I really want to spend $2,000? Because I'm going to miss out on that 1,000 or however much money, depending on what shift you had.
Yep.
All right, Billy. Well, hey, it was good to catch up with you. I appreciate you. Hopefully, we're going to inspire other people to make their way out.
Yeah, I mean, just you got to take that first step. I didn't walk off the street to start bartending at the Hard Rock in Vegas. I had to pick up glassware for almost a year.
God, I hate it.
It's the same thing in life, man. You just got to invest in it and grow and learn. That's how you're going to do it.
And guys, we all know that transition is rough. You go from making that easy, quick money and stuff, but you got to take a few steps back to make positive steps forward. But forward movement, it'll always happen.
Yep, just take that step.
All right, Billy. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye.